Good morning. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous morning here at Everdeen. I've just rolled out of bed and opened up my window, and it is the perfect temperature outside. So I am going to take this opportunity to knock out some gardening projects. So I'm going to quickly change and hop downstairs, go out in the garden, and get started. And one quick outfit change later, I'm ready to garden. And I'm going to get started by weed whacking the front lawn because it is looking very bushy. And then I think I'm going to pull some weeds. I need to weed whack the space in front of the barn because that is looking extremely bushy. Yeah, and then I'll just have a look around and kind of see what projects grab my eye. Wow, that made such a big difference. Oh, it looks so much better. It was so overgrown, and now there's clear patches of plants, and it looks organized and cared for. Great. And then I also noticed that there are several tomatoes that are ready on my little miniature tomato plants. So we're gonna pick these, take them inside, and eat them for dinner, I think. Well, I do have to say this is more of a snack than a meal, but I'll be very happy with this snack. Actually, this is a pretty good harvest for two little plants, but my plan was to plant two plants, one tomato and one pepper plant, just to see how they did this year, and if they did well, I will plant more next year. And they did do well. They're doing really great. They're producing a fair amount of fruit for each plant. So next year I'm going to plant lots of tomatoes and lots of peppers, and we'll have a proper harvest that we can use for cooking. I've come to a decision, which is that this fence in front of the terrace has to go. I was resisting this decision because I do think it's really cute with the little white fence in front of the terrace. It's just very picturesque. But although it is picturesque, it is in no way practical for shooting aerial videos because it basically just means that I can have one place to put my camera, which is that gap, the little gateway, and that's it. It's also in quite bad condition. There is this part that's broken, and the other side of the fence, which is behind this bush, is really broken. It got kind of smashed in the process of replacing the beams in here. So I think it's going to have to go. Well, I say that now. I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be in removing it. It looks like it's just being held on by that one bolt onto the wall. This whole part is... Oh, yeah. Actually, that's probably going to come out pretty easily because it just moved when I wiggled it with my hand. Well, I set up the camera to do a time lapse of me fighting with this thing for ages and ages. And it took me 1 minute and 25 seconds to get it from where it was to here. So, great. very surprising, but great. I wish all the projects around here went that quickly and easily. But yeah, I guess I can put my hoop up and get to training now. I'm going to leave the other side behind the bush where it is for the moment because I just don't want to deal with it. I want to get to the fun part, which is getting on my hoop. So yeah, project accomplished. I think that's enough for today. I'm getting a bit tired. So I'm going to move into the house. Okay, so now we have the furniture and countertops installed on this half of the kitchen. There's a few projects that we need to do before we can kind of move on with this side of the room. The first one is that when we installed the drywall to cover the awful flaky concrete wall that was behind here, there is a place where the drywall overlaps the textured wall, which is a different kind of concrete. I don't know. Basically what we've ended up here is like a lip of about 1/2 inch where the walls are not the same level. So what I'm going to do is take some wood trim and use that to kind of smooth out the join so that it looks intentional and nice. I also need to sand all of this white stuff where we put plaster over the joins in the drywall so it's nice and smooth. And then I need to primer over everything so it's ready to paint. I don't know exactly what color I want to paint this area yet. I don't even know if I want to paint the whole kitchen the same color or do like an accent wall, but I do have a few paint samples. My only thought at the moment is like maybe kind of a sage sandy green. So I got a few samples of different sort of sage pale greens, but I just don't know how I'm going to feel about them until I see them on the wall. So I will do a few sample patches to see what they look like, or that might be a tomorrow project depending on how long things take to dry and how much daylight we have. So I'm going to make the most of the daylight and get to work. We also need to put a fake ceiling just to close off this gap up here. But that's definitely going to be a project for when Laurent, my boyfriend, is here, because I don't feel competent to do this the project. Here is the lip where the drywall overlaps the other part of the wall. So my plan is to take 2 pieces of wood trim because one piece just isn't quite wide enough. And then put them together, glue them onto the wall, and create a decorative lip like this. I'll probably also need to put some putty into that little crack because it doesn't line up precisely. The drywall is not precisely straight. So I'll just need to fill that up with something. But before I do that, I'm going to need to put the paintable wallpaper all the way up to where that wood trim is. Well, this is already much better. I am going to fill in that little hole with drywall also. Don't worry, it's not staying like that. Okay, the next step in this process is to cut a piece out of this extra piece of drywall to fill up the little hole that is odd shaped on the top there. Laurent did teach me how to cut the drywall, but also I'm really great at being unskilled at home improvement. So I'm gonna say there's a 50% chance that I end up with a piece of drywall I can use, or 40%, or maybe a safe 35. So I just cut out a piece of paper like a pattern in the shape of the gap. I'm just gonna trace around it. I say this like I know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing, but if I can cut out that shape, theoretically I should be good. The moment of truth. Oh, come on. Oh, it fits. That's surprising. I'm gonna be very naughty and use my same construction adhesive that I've been using for the trim to stick this up there because it's so little and light. I don't want to mix up the proper adhesive for drywall. I just want to get it up there, and it's so little. This is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. The awkward hole is filled with drywall. Good job, me. Next up, we're going to fill in the awkward crack between the trim and the drywall with some putty. Well, whatever this is. This is the correct filler. I've had some questions from you guys about what kind of fillers I'm using and am I using the right filler for the right job. And I just call everything putty. So I do know this is the correct thing to use. I don't know what I should be calling it. Also, if I'm honest, the reason I want to fill in this crack is I'm going to say 30% because it looks bad and 70% because I'm worried that spiders might hide inside it. If you're new to this channel, spiders are my arch enemy, and I spend a lot of my life trying to avoid them getting me because they are all out to get me. That's science. That's a fact. I'm also going to putty this space because that looks like prime spider hiding space. And I'm not having it. There will be no spiders hiding in this space here. Is there anyone else out there that spends like a significant amount of their life thinking about spiders and how to avoid them? Is that just me? Have I got like significantly worse arachnophobia than the rest of the world? If you have severe arachnophobia, please like comment and we'll form a support group. So I put on putty like a maniac. I know. I'm not good at this. I'm waiting for the putty to dry so I can sand it and do the primer on this part. And while I wait, I'm gonna do my little paint samples. I've done my paint samples and they're looking a little splotchy because the light is coming through the window behind me and reflecting off the parts that are still wet. But I can see now what colors they are. And to be honest, I don't really love any of them. This one is definitely too brown. This one, I like the level of blue that it is, but it's too dark. So maybe if I could find something like that in something that's about 8 shades lighter. I want a really light color in here. And this looked like it was going to be a light color, but it turns out no. And then this one is definitely my favorite of the 3, but I just don't want to go with that strong of a color in here. Basically, I am happy to go with really rich jewel tone colors in pretty much every other room or else patterned wallpaper. But in here, I want to keep things really light and simple. And these are all just a little bit too much color or too dark for what I want. So I think that means it's time to go back to the paint store, have a rethink, get some more paint samples, and do this again because I think that'll make me a lot happier. And I do really love this green color. maybe I'll find another use for it and just use up the rest of my paint sample. I do want to paint the shelves inside of this piece of furniture a nice, vibrant color, because I am stealing blatantly and shamelessly an idea from Stephanie at Chateau, the Chateau Diaries channel. If any of you guys have seen that, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's an amazing channel. But basically, they have in their kitchen a furniture for stirring, a piece of It is time to let things go for the day, Sky. I've lost the ability to speak. I'm tired. It's the end of the day and I'm tired. Basically, at Chateau Lalande, they have a piece of furniture for storing porcelain and teacups, which is open like this one is, and has a beautiful, vibrant, dark blue color inside of it. And it looks so gorgeous against the white porcelain. So I want to steal that idea. And maybe this green is the color that I steal it with. But for the walls, we need something lighter. We need something more neutral to keep it light and simple in here. Also, my putty project is not dry. I was hoping it would dry faster, but it's quite humid today and it's not drying. I think I'm too scared to sand it when it's this level of dry, and I'm going to lose all the daylight soon. So I think we're going to leave it overnight. I'm going to sand it tomorrow, and then I'm going to primer this whole area. But that means for the rest of the night, I'm going to cook a lovely curry. I'm going to stuff my little face with that curry, and then I'm going to crash and go to bed because I am tired and hungry. The nook is completely primered, so I'm ready to paint as soon as I choose a paint color. And I'm ready to move on. I'm just running outside for a minute because I think there are ripe raspberries on the raspberry vine, and it does amazingly huge and juicy raspberries. So I'm going to investigate that, and I'm going to go back inside for a chandelier project. Yep, there's a likely candidate. Ah, come on. There we go. Nice. Ooh, that one also looks good. I think that 4 might be it for now, but there's lots of green runs on the vine that will be ready soon. So hope is not lost for delicious raspberries. Let's have a quick sample. There is raspberry flavor. There are raspberries that you get from the supermarket, and then there's that. And that is a completely different taste. The fresh off the vine taste is amazing. This is the chandelier area with all of the chandeliers that are waiting for their homes. Hello, my beautiful friends. And I think this one is the one I want to put on the landing of the stairs. I think my first project needs to be taking it onto the landing of the stairs and seeing if it's too long, because I have a suspicion That's going to be way too long. Oh yeah, that's going to be way too low. I think we're going to need to take out basically the whole chain. Just gonna try to open this guy up so I can take off the chain that he's holding on. Maybe. Not quite. There we go. That should be good. Ha-ha! And then let's try bending this guy back on to hold the two parts together. Well, it's not perfectly connected, but it'll do. Well, it's a little bit of a trap for my boyfriend Laurent, who is this much taller than me. But he's a smart guy. He can learn to walk around it. I am very glad I'm doing this project now because in the end, this bulb was not burned out. Basically what happened is when I clipped the wires, you can see here, when I clipped the wires that the socket was connected to, I clipped this wire and then the whole thing just fell down, which really surprised me because what had happened was the other wire had come out completely of the light and that's why it wasn't working. So it's good that I'm redoing this. Yeah, I'm glad I found out about that. Just a little bit of wiring and we're done. Let's try to turn it on. To be honest, I don't even 100% know if this chandelier works because I've not tried it since I bought it at the antique store. So I'll give it a 50-50 chance of actually working and a 50-50 chance of I've not done it correctly. Well, I have to say it was a little anticlimactic to have one light bulb working out of 5. But I'll take it because I can actually see where I'm going on the stairs now. Big improvement. Big improvement. Let's try changing out some light bulbs and maybe that will help. After some testing, I've established that we only have 3 arms that don't work and one was just a dead bulb. So we actually have 2 light bulbs working, which is nearly a 50% success rate. It's not a big deal though, because I think all that needs to happen is that we need to replace the sockets like this, which just is going to take a little time to do. I won't do it tonight, but it's easy enough to do it. I can do it another day this week. But in the meantime, we have light on the stairs and it's gorgeous. I love chandeliers. I particularly love this chandelier because I feel like it's a little bit more Regency, Napoleonic era than some of the other chandeliers I've bought for the house. And the house was built in the Regency era, so it's kind of the original style of what might have been here. And that's really cool. I like that a lot. I also really love that now when you come in the entryway, you see this beautiful chandelier. And then you start to go up the stairs and you see this beautiful chandelier. Love it. That's a good number of chandeliers. At some point, I'm going to change the wall look in this area, and indeed on all of the stairway, because it's all the textured, I think, spray-on concrete, some sort of concrete here, that's just been painted to look like it's cinder blocks. And so we're going to cover up the texture, probably with paintable wallpaper, and then either paint or wallpaper over, just to make this look a little bit more Chateau style and a little bit less cinder block style. It's a weird choice to paint fake cinder blocks on, but somebody was very committed to that. Anyway, eventually this will be some other design on the walls. I'm calling it a day, and I'm ending the day sitting in the garden with a gin and tonic. I feel very happy. It's been a long day, but I feel like there was progress made. I feel like there was a lot of progress made. Got that chandelier up, which was excellent progress, and got the kitchen nook ready for when we're ready to paint. So that is great. I'm super happy with that. And now all that's really left in the kitchen is to do the other half of the pre-made furniture that we bought, and then to install that and then paint, and that's pretty much it that's left in the kitchen. We're getting very close in the kitchen, which is super exciting. But anyway, I am now just going to chill out for the rest of the evening. I'm going to have a little Zoom call with one of my friends in London, so that's going to be fun. And yeah, it's going to be lovely. So with that, I will finish this video. But before I do, I'll just remind you guys to please do subscribe to my channel and like my videos, because that really makes a huge difference. Recently, there was a bump where the algorithm noticed this channel and really pushed it up for a few days, and it was because you guys like and subscribe and comment and make the algorithm notice this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, please help me out and like, subscribe, comment, do all those good things, because it's a big help. And with that, I'm gonna finish my drink and I will see you guys next time.